Alright, please forgive me, this is still my first day with a selfie stick, and this is only video number 3, so I'm doing my best. Anyway, hope the sound isn't too terrible. Lawnmowers seem to have cut down for now, but of course, now we have a chopper or a plane or something. Yeah, a little Cessna up there. So, anyway, I didn't read the whole prompt, I'm afraid, or I missed part of it before I briefed the last one. And I wanted to talk about creativity and being a programmer. Creativity is a huge part of being a good programmer. You will frequently come across a situation where you're like, golly gee, it seems like tool A ought to do the job. And then it turns out, in the middle of the night, you wake up and you say, oh, you know what? Tools B and C can do it, and I know how to do it right off the top of my head. No research required. Makes life a lot simpler. But I think creativity also has a lot to do with how good you are at math, actually. I think a lot of particularly musical and writing, literature types think they're not good at math. And my experience has been that actually, really, people who make the best programmers tend to be musicians. Probably second might be physicists or someone like that, and after that probably comes English literature and linguistics, language study types. I don't think it's so much to do with the fact that English majors spend a lot of time with language so much as it is they spend a lot of time just thinking. And that's the biggest part of being a good programmer, is just being comfortable spending time with yourself and being comfortable experimenting with things. The other thing about English is that writing, whether it's of a technical nature or not, is an incredibly important part. It doesn't matter if you're a PhD in math or computer science or something and you can write really sophisticated algorithms. If you can never communicate with other people, stay on an email list, write documentation, if you can't do those things, then your software probably isn't going to travel as far as it would, and you're not going to rise in an organization like you will if you can write. So I think being creative is a hugely important part, in fact, a critical part of being a great programmer. Being a merely mediocre programmer probably doesn't require nearly as much, but certainly I think all the great programmers I know have had good command of language. They've been creative, whether it's in terms of dance, music, language, or some other thing. And they've all had hobbies. So they've all been, for some reason juggling was a common hobby where I come from. But I've also seen plenty of other hobbies. There are stereotypical geeky, nerdy ones like board games, video games, but plenty of non-traditional ones, knitting, juggling, as I mentioned. So I say, don't feel compelled, don't feel like you have to be a math nerd, don't feel like you have to be an algorithms nerd, don't feel like you have to be any of those things to be a good programmer. Being creative is a wonderful and I think critical first step to being a great programmer. All the best.